Welcome back, everybody. We are driving through beautiful South Georgia. We are between Thomasville, Georgia, the city of roses, which is just north of Tallahassee, where I'm at. And we are between Thomasville and Coolidge, Georgia. If you've never heard of these two cities, I invite you to look them up, and you'll see that I am truly in the middle of the South. So, we are making a very, very privileged trip today to the middle of nowhere, and in the middle of nowhere happens to be JETTSON lure eyes. That's right, those gorgeous JETTSON lure eyes that we've been putting on our baits. Well, I say us, not just me, of course. Thousands of other bait makers, ranging from, wooden carved masterpieces to soft baits like I do. JETTSON lure eyes is, pretty much revered as, the just top of the line stuff. The textures and colors that he achieves in his eyes are just unrivaled in a lot of ways, and he has a process that's just really, really special. So we're giving you the first ever behind the scenes look at JETTSON lure eyes, and we're going to learn about lure eyes, a little bit about how to make them, which could be a separate video in itself. But I poured up a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different swim baits and a bunch of different colors, and we'll be able to kind of mix and match a bunch of eyeball samples together. And I'm going to let John talk about his business a lot, and talk about sort of the history behind his company and how he does what he does. I've always joked, whenever I pull a bait out of the mold, I have to make a decision. Is it good enough for my JETTSON eyes, or does it get the standard eyes from China? So anyway, without too much more babbling, I have to kind of figure out where I am. I'm supposed to turn right up here somewhere, but we'll meet you back when we are there.
Hey,
look at this guy.
It's a JETTSON Lure Company.
This is JETTSON Lure Company. All right. Well, how about it?
How's it going?
Doing well today?
Very good, very good.
Well, let's look at some eyes here in just a minute, but let's ooh and awe real quick. Look at this.
That's part of this week's production.
Okay, so these are this week's orders going out?
Part of them, yeah.
Part of them, okay.
This one we'll be packing up this weekend and getting out Monday and Tuesday.
Right on. Let's see if I recognize any. Yeah, I pretty much recognize all these. Well, you have to remember, no kidding, I've stared at your website for hours, drooling over these eyeballs, and this is just a small fraction, guys. Let's go over to the other table. All right, so here's a spread of eyes right here. We have some new eyes that are not yet.
This is about 1,000 different eyes right here.
So these are all different. No two the same?
Yeah, 997.
997 eyes.
Of the textured eyes.
And these are the JETTSON texture eyes. Look at that. Man, they look so good through the camera, Really brings the colors out. So, no kidding, those are all different.
Those are all different.
Wow. And these are frog eyes?
Yeah, these are a frog collection.
Frog collection.
That I sold a bunch just as a special release. I'm not sure if I'll put them in the website or not.
Now, are those the texture?
They are textured.
Okay.
And it's just that, how do you say, there's not as much variety in those as there are in the...
In the quote texture.
Correct.
And then here's some of his, just
the standard
basic
480-ish.
Basic run-of-the-mill stuff, right? Yeah. No, there's nothing basic about that. And
so them off.
Didn't clean them off.
Yeah,
so
usually I shine them up, but I didn't have time.
These are mostly fish eyes, then.
Fish eyes.
I see some crazy stuff.
These are reptile and frog on this side.
Wow.
With some miscellaneous things I threw in there.
So are these leftovers, or these image
these are
eyes image eyes for the website?
I keep one of each on hand all the time.
Yeah.
In case I need to do a photography or something happens, I have to have at least one of every kind.
Wow.
And with the standard eyes here, I have them in each background, but I just brought these out because it takes a long time to lay all this out.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we will take a closer look here in a minute, y'all.
How you guys doing? This is John from JETTSON Lure Company. I'm here with Chris, and he's my guest today at the shop. and I like to give you a little history and maybe a little background behind the product I make, which is JETTSON Lure Eyes. Right here next to me I have most of the collection that I offer to the public. There's always new stuff coming out, but this is a great overview, and this all started back in probably mid 2015 when I was actually making lures and carving lures, and I hurt my hands, so I had to take a little hiatus from that, which ended up being a 18-month hiatus. But during that time, in order to stay involved with the fishing industry, I was looking for something else I could do that was less taxing. And what I did notice was that there was a void in the lure eye market. You could get red ones, blue ones, but there wasn't really the diversity like you could find in lure blanks or in other parts of the business. So I went ahead and started making lure eyes for friends, for myself, started passing them out, and little by little it grew into a business, and it's not something that I really planned to do, but it kind of just has taken over. I really enjoy it. I really like putting out the different designs and seeing what people do with them. To this date, I think we've put out, me and I've got a couple of helpers, almost 1.5 million eyes. And that's since I started selling them publicly at the end of 2015. So, it takes a lot of work. There's a lot of management. There's a lot of small little moving parts. There's things that can go wrong, and there was a lot of trial and error. And it really took about 18 months to really dial it in and get something that I was really happy with, that was durable, that all the different sizes, the spectrum of sizes, different backings, mouse eyes, fish eyes, bug eyes, all the different things that people need for their lures.
All right, everybody, as promised, I have a bunch of hand pours. So actually, first off, let me show you the goodie box. That's a lot of variety in there. Some really cool stuff. Spent a lot of time pouring those. So anyway, we'll start with one of my favorites, yellow perch. So we're just gonna throw some eyes on and just kind of go through a bunch of different camera shots with different eyes, and kind of let you see what they look like. So I'm going to just grab a couple eyes at random, and John's gonna try to tell me what these are. Let's see. You know what? Let's go with this red one right here.
I don't know them all by heart.
Do we know what? Do we know what that one is? It's pretty, is what it is.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Not okay.
The best way to find eyes on the website is to search by color.
Search by color. Oh, yes.
Pull up something close.
All right, and then we'll do. Oh, is this the parrot fish?
That's a fire tiger.
Fire tiger. Let's definitely do that, because yellow perch is a lot like fire tiger.
And those are with a pearl background, or pearlescent white background.
Okay, so that's the pearlescent white background, which is like no hologram effect.
Correct.
Okay.
Kind of like a pearlescent metallic-ish.
Look at that, you guys. All right, moving on to some other eyes. We'll meet you right back. All right, here we have another set of eyes. Let's get in real close. Look at that. You can see some of the colors there. Looking good, looking good. So that bottom eye color is oil slick, and the top one is called aqua. And there's lots of purples and greens in it. It's next level, folks. Now there's some different looking yellow perch right there. That's a this pupil right here. What pupil is that?
That is a gecko pupil.
A gecko
That's
pupil.
called marbled blue.
Marbled blue gecko. Look at that. Doesn't really fit a yellow perch, but the whole point was just to see what it would look like. That top eye right there is a lot more appropriate. So
The other one's called a blue tiger.
a blue tiger. There we go. All right, here's some cool stuff right here. So we have one of his texture eyes in sort of a reptile pupil, I'm assuming.
That's correct.
And then this is neat right here. This is sort of a
black chrome.
Black chrome. So a lot of times it's cool to just throw just the most contrasting color in there, so we have this bright orange and yellow and gold, and then boom, just a darker eye. So yeah, super cool. We're gonna move on to a different bait and show you some more eyes. So this one I'm particularly proud of, and these eyes really match it well. So this pour right here is my attempt to match a Roman made paint scheme. Old Roman over there in Japan. And this eye, particularly on the bottom, look how well it matches. It has the purple hues in it. It has an exact sort of chartreuse green color in it that really matches the belly portion of the head there. So, you know, that to me, high-end lure making requires high-end eyeballs, you know, especially a swim bait, or if you're a wooden bait guy. And just the options here allow me to match baits this well, and to me, those are just matched perfectly. We'll throw some crazy stuff on there just to look at it, but if you really want to match things up, I mean, having a catalog like the Jetson catalog is, I mean, look at that. It speaks for itself. I can't match it any better. And those are chick green and chick blue. So if you're in the market for some eyes that look like that, that's what they are. Alright, so now we have some texture eyes on there. Look at that. And I was able to find some that kind of match the purpleness of the bait. So, yeah, really, really cool. So that's some of the texture collection right there that hopefully we'll have soon available. Yeah, maybe, yeah. So yeah, the texture eyes really are going to be the next thing here at Jetson, from what I can tell. So super, super awesome. All right, y'all, so we have one of my favorites up here. That is the very much loved on World's Worst Fishing blue squid, but that's with the white pearlescent white background. So the ones I get are with the hologram black background, so they're shinier, as you could say. And then this bottom eye right there is called grindstone. Look at that. So yeah, all the different eyes that you can match is I think just a special thing, you know, because there's a lot of baits out there with just very generic eyes that don't really necessarily match. And if you're running a lot of stuff, you need cheap eyes. But if you're a small bait maker like me who just wants to make, you know, more unique things each time, this is the way to go. Alright, and here we have one of my favorite types of pours, a baby bass. And so this is a capsuled bait. So it's capsuled and clear. The black is then hand dotted on with pigment. There's a gold skin, and then I pour the white pearl belly and then the green hyper shift top. So a little bit about the bait, but we have some really great eyes that I think match it. This one is a Brook Trout Eye in the Jetson catalog. The top one is a Shad. It's just called Shad. It's a regular Shad. And if you look, they both kind of match the bait in a way. This one has green and gold hues with the black splotches in the eye, which kind of mirrors the bait as a whole. This one over here, the Shad Eye, has a lot of brown in it, which, you know, if you look at a bass's eye, there's usually a lot of brown in it. At least the bass in Florida, you know, dark bass. Then it has some gold and green in it. So I thought that those were matched up pretty well. Alright, so here we have some more wild stuff. This is just solid black with hologram flake. Black mirror, as I call it, because of drums a long time ago. And this one's called Spring Flower on the bottom, and it literally looks like a flower. So, yep, just showing you some different stuff there. Wouldn't be what I would necessarily choose for these baits, but you know, the whole point here is just to show you what all these crazy masterpiece eyes look like on different bait color concepts. So we're going to move on, and we'll be right back. So here we have some sort of blingy trout. Lots of hologram flake in there, lots of flake in general, and a little bit of color shift effect, but put some very different eyes on there. So there's a texture eye on the bottom, you know, but just they give off so many different colors. I was like, well, this bait has a lot of different colors in it. And look at this thing up here. What is that exactly? Just
holographic silver.
Just straight holograph silver. There's no pupil or anything else in there. And you can see it is loud. So yeah, really cool color. Yeah, there you can see some of the color shift in it. That's Dip Your Car Alien Pearl. Affiliate link in the description below if you want some of that. So yeah, we're going to try a few more eyes on this one and move on. Look at this, you guys. So this one's called, what was this one called?
Goldstone.
Goldstone. And the reds in it kind of mirror the red stripe in this one, and then that's that kind of black with hologram flake in it again. So just kind of some contrast there on the eyes. Sometimes just big contrast is is nice, even if it doesn't, quote, match it. You know, if you take just a white pearl bait and throw a black eye on it, the contrast really sets it off. Alright, so here we have some really cool,
This is bound to happen.
there you go, some really cool stuff. This is an encapsulated bait with 2 different colors of color shift brushed in the capsule. So I'm going to be doing a video on these soon. I posted one of these and asked if anyone would like to see a video. So be on the lookout for some content on this soon. But here we have the sort of the gunmetal chrome eye just for the contrast, and then one of the silver texture eyes there. So we'll slap a few more on here and then keep moving along. Here's some more texture eyes on these pours here on the other side. I love that one up top. Do we have a name for that one yet?
No names for these.
Or just texture eye?
They'll basically be texture 1, texture 2,
Text all the way up to 1,000?
I don't know. There
There.
are families of textured eyes, and then they're going to be grouped by pupil. So you can get the fish eye in one of these XYZ textures.
Okay.
So it'll be
Okay.
a little easier to kind of find them.
That's like the pinnacle of eye making. Alright guys, here's one of my favorite, a skin poured juvenile rainbow trout. All these little blue splotches are kind of individually skin poured on there, and it just provides a really natural look, I think. And check these eyes out. Sort of have a pink eye to sort of match the whole pink theme of the rainbow, and then sort of a golden eye. A lot of rainbow trout eyes are gold. So if you wanted to match it exactly, you know, there's probably an eye for it here. So those are just 2 examples right there. Do we know what these are called? Maybe?
Top one is blonde and brown.
Blonde and brown, okay.
And the bottom one, I don't know.
Well, we'll get back to you on the bottom one perhaps. Alright, so here's some more looks on these trout. This one is confetti. I've personally bought that one before, and I love it. And the one up top is really cool.
Eclipse.
Eclipse, okay. Yeah, so let's take a closer look there. Boom. Alright, that's it for the trout. So this is kind of neat. This one is one of the snakehead eyes.
Yeah, there's 3 different kinds, and that's one of them.
Those mean fish from Thailand. And what was this top one again?
That one is a gold swirl.
Yeah, so let's see if I can get a shot. Let me try to get it in focus for you guys. Hold on, meet you right back. So there's the same eye in a 19 millimeter, and you can see the kind of swirly effect around the edge there. Super, super cool. Alright guys, so here's a really exciting pour. This is an Arctic Char, and you guessed it, all the white dots are just hand poured on there, similar to the black dot on the green color shift shad. And you might be thinking, Chris, why would you ever want to pour that many dots? Really, once you get into a rhythm, it's just pour, pour, pour. The trick is to get the plastic at the right temperature to where it doesn't stick to itself, and you can pour it and back the cup off, and it stays in the mold instead of pulling it with it. So it's just sort of a feel thing, but we have some gold skins, some green skins, and then a green top, green black top. So anyway, a beautiful color. If anyone tries this at home, please send me a picture. I would love to see your take on it. But we have some really cool eyes. These are both texture eyes.
One's on the bottom, snakehead.
Okay, snakehead on the bottom.
Snakehead.
It's one of the snakeheads, and then that one up there, up top, is a texture eye. So, yeah, that's the last one we're going to show you of the just kind of eyeballs running through the different bait pours. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this part of the video. Now I think we're going to do some just kind of talking about eyes in the bait industry in general, and we're going to cut to that now. Alright everybody, so we're a little far from the camera, so I'm going to speak up, but we're now just going to talk about the product a little bit. And the question that I wanted to know, which, you know, if you've ever used Jetson eyes or seen them in person, you get it immediately that these are special products. But from the man himself, you know, what kind of makes Jetson lure eyes different and special? Because they are different. There's some qualities about them that are different, and you can elaborate.
Sure.
For everybody. So,
well, when designing Jetson lure eyes, I took the opportunity to actually engineer the product. It isn't just something that I put together willy-nilly. It was actually an 18-month process. And during that process, I experimented with the right materials, the right combinations of things. Some products work better with others. Some don't play with each other. So I had to go through that whole process to get to where I am now. And where I am now is I create an eye that's photorealistic. It's flexible. It can be cut because it's durable. And there are literally thousands of options as far as designs, so you can pretty much match any pattern. And I can also do that with different backings, customize if you need it, if you need to match something very specific. All that can be accomplished because we have the ultimate flexibility as far as creating that product, whether it be a 6mm all the way up to 19. And
these are 19s, by the way. They're humongous.
Yeah, they're pretty big. And a lot of the musky people love that size.
Yeah.
And the great part about the whole Jetson product is that it's what's the best word?
Well, would the word be engineered?
I guess so.
So to speak,
it's just the thought that goes behind it from start to finish. So once the eyes are the design starts on the computer, then it gets applied to the backing, which in this case is a piece of holographic vinyl.
Yeah, I don't know if that's in focus, but
yeah. Then it would get punched and go through the series of steps until it gets the epoxy dome. Now, once that happens, we go ahead and pack everything for you in a way so you can keep it organized. And
organization, everybody.
So they are packed on little cards, we'd like to call them. They fit in a baseball card type pocket holder in a notebook. And on the back of each package contains the information for ordering. So you have the SKU number and everything is right there.
I hope that's info. If not, I'll get a better shot of it.
Yeah, everything's organized for you to make your life a little easier. And since you are paying for a premium product, you should get it organized and ready to apply to your lures. And the the selection of eyes is pretty much unmatched anywhere out there. And that was one of my goals. One of my goals was to be able to say, hey, I need XYZ eye or something really close, be able to come to the website, order it, and move on. So that's the general idea. Starting with quality materials, a proprietary process, and an end product that you'd be proud to use on your lures.
And guys, one of the coolest things that he was explaining to me is this despite these two eyes being imaged on this paper, this is not printed. It's
imaged,
whatever you want to call it, and it's so much more durable. And one of the things that he was mentioning earlier is that the eyes are flexible. So if I take this eye here and peel the backing off, I can literally flex this eye. Well, maybe I can. Yeah, there we go. I can bend it. So there it is, right there. I'll have to get a better shot of that. But it's bendable, and so you can actually, if let's say you're putting the eye on a bait that has chamfered edges or something's really rounded, you can affix the eye to it.
That's correct.
You can literally bend the eye and put it on a bait. You don't have to have a flat eye socket.
Right.
So you can just bend it, essentially.
Yeah, these eyes are quite durable. You can twist them any which way you want into any kind of crazy shape.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna break apart. The other great thing about it is a lot of times you might not need a round eye. You might need a special shape. So you can take these with a razor knife and just cut them. You can cut them in once, twice, whatever, and they will stay together.
You can cut them, and they're not going to fracture or shatter or anything like that.
That's right.
I don't always clear dip my baits, and in fact, a lot of them I don't. So the eye is exposed to a certain extent, and it might get scratched, but it's not going to shatter and break off the bait.
Yeah, if you notice the image of the eye on here, I can scratch this as hard as I want, just about.
Yeah.
And it's not going to come off.
Yeah.
And that's one of the keys, is that this image attached to this backing, that has to be solid. It has to be fused together. If not, that's where your eye's going to break. And so that was one of the most important things to solve. So that's what I did.
So this is pretty neat. So I asked John a few weeks ago to do a custom green eye for me. And so if you order like a custom eye from him, you'll sort of receive a sample page chart like this. And so, normally there'd be a name or a client name, project name. But so I wanted him to make like a really reflective holographic greenish eye. So let me see if I can get those in focus there. So anyway, you can see it's a gorgeous eye. And so here's how he kind of would do it. He would give you an example with a holographic silver backing, pearlescent white backing, and then there's some other backing options there, chrome silver, glow in the dark. Really, what I was after was a holographic finish, but you can see how the backing changes the nature of the eye. So there's the same sort of eye, and they're a little bit different, but that's sort of the same thing with hologram backing and with pearlescent white backing. So really cool. I think I'm gonna go with option D, like we were saying, but really cool process there. So just to touch on the whole eyeball bending thing, so I have this wooden plug here, and if let's say you wanted to put a big eye on that, which I'm all about a big eye. Well, the eye's flat, right? You see how it's flat there? That's not really going to work. Well, the beauty of it is just bend it. So you can literally bend this, and if you have your adhesive on, yeah, that'll be next. You can literally put this on and mold it to the bait and make it flush. So that's super cool. And then just to show you how far it can go, let's say you just wanted to do it angled like this on a wooden block, a block lure, boom. It'll do a 90-degree bend essentially, and you could have a bait that has an eye on it that's bent like that. Alright guys, so y'all have seen me cut up brand new soft plastic baits before and remelt them in the molds. And some people cringe whenever I cut something in half, but now I'm going to take a brand new Jetson eye and it's gone. We cut it in half. And you can see there's no fracturing, nothing on its hurt. And you can cut eyes to get like certain angry looks or just a lot of musky baits have triangle shaped eye sockets, and you can literally cut these to that. You don't have to necessarily order an eye to fit it. You can fit it yourself, and that's just one more level of customization that I think is pretty special. So we're at this little pond here, and he's caught one bass, but I've missed a few bites. But we're gonna, one thing in the south, there's a lot of little catfish ponds like this, so let's see if we can get the catfish. Yeah, see if we can get the catfish fed up here. You would think at least like the bluegill and stuff would come up and eat this stuff. We'll meet you back if we get some action. Guys, we got a big catfish on the loose. He's coming up. Oh, like he stuck his, there he is. See that? Sticking his whole head out of the water. That's a big catfish. Yeah, I do. Oh, there he is again. Just stuck his whole head out. Look at that, y'all. I do believe I'd be coming down here at night. Well, okay, guys. What an awesome experience. Thank you so much, John, for allowing me to come up there and invade your workspace. I got to see a lot of awesome things. Hopefully, you guys got to see a lot of awesome things as well. I believe that's the first time he's ever really shown any sort of, video or really much picture detail or anything like that from inside his shop. So it was really special to get to see that. I hope we can do it again sometime. Open invitation, dude. Anytime you want to come to my shop, we'll make a bunch of plastics. I know you like those worms and crawls. So, but anyway, everyone else, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We were really excited to film this for y'all. Shoot me lots of comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you use Jetson eyes. I'm curious what all of you guys' favorite eyes are, because I'm always open for any sort of advice on that. If there's an eye that you just really love on a certain color, I'd like to know about it. I can take all the advice that there is to give. So again, thank you so much for being here, and we'll catch you next time on the World's Worst Fishing.